Morning. Senior Minister Ho Yen Ling. We know each other for many, many years ago. And Professors Didi Kong and all His Excellency Ambassador. And ladies and gentlemen, I just got a permission from SMS Low. Give me additional 5 more minutes. Okay. I will not drag the speech for too long. So if you want the PPT, please scan it. We will send to you right by email. Now, do we have? Okay, before that, let me thank all the author of the books. We planned for this book 4 years ago. Okay, it take 2 years to produce. Right? The committee selected 15 authors. Right? So 5 as a backup in case the first 10, they did not have time to do it. Guess what? The first 10 that I approached, either by call or by meeting, all of them accepted my invitation without hesitation. And from their eyes and from their voice, I can see their passion for not only the youth, but also for Singapore. So with that, please join me to thank them. Okay, now, you all got the QR code, right? Because I'm going to speak very fast, the time is limited. We have a good 60 years celebration, right? For Singapore. Wonderful. I enjoyed it also, right? So my question is, will we have a good SG100 or SG120? So if you are confident of Singapore will have one, raise your hand. Okay. My answer is no. It's a very confirmed no. Okay? Why? Let's see. In the past, many years ago, a group of us, a businessman, we find that we have the world-class or one of the best government in the world, one of the best ecosystem for education in the world. The government spend a lot of money to help the SME in research and so on. Yet, we do not have enough. So, local bond. Okay, unicorn, C-suite, or Global 500 company. There are 3, but they are not Singapore born. At the same time, they are commodity and so on. They are low profit margin. So, no Singapore company are in the Global 500 or I call it C-suite level or global ready level capacity is getting less and less. What are the reasons? I go through very fast. 1, we lack of global ready parents. Why? Remember my title? I put a very big parent and the U is very small. Only global ready parent can nurture global ready youth. In fact, grandparent, parent, and parent-to-be, you should start nurturing your children and grandchildren when they're 2 or 3 years old. Like, Senior Minister was very wise. He said, 3岁定终身. Okay, 3 years old, you start planning for the future. Okay. Another thing is, Singapore, some people say, 3 million population cannot produce a lot of talents. However, our forefather, Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, Goh Keng Swee, and Philip Yeo, these few of them, they are not only extraordinary, but they're also visionary. So they planned the Singapore integrated ecosystem long time ago. Okay, as a result, Lee Kuan Yew said, you build it right, talent will come. That's why we have many good company, good talent, high network are coming. Okay? So, one point Singaporean, many do not understand, but I believe the government understands. This 1 million PE or PR and so on. The other 2 million may be worker and so on. They are the product of few 100 million or even 1 billion parents. So in other words, you should view Singapore as a so-called, the talent in Singapore is come from 1 billion population. Okay, if not more. Okay? Now, the second thing is, the missing point is, this talent come from Singapore, the local talent and overseas. They have their resources, experience and wisdom. If they are global ready, you will have a global ready resources, experience, wisdom. So what the mistake we make in the past is, we treasure them, we bring them in. But we did not TOC. Treasure them enough, embrace them enough, optimize their potential, and capitalize their potential. So, what is global ready? It can be global ready quotient, global readiness, and so on. A group of businessmen together, we call it global ready capacity. I will not explain too much, but basically, your global readiness refers to your reference to your resources, experience, wisdom. Whether it's Singapore, GRE, Singapore readiness, ASEAN readiness, Asia readiness, or global readiness. In order to propel the country move forward, all the parents must be global ready. If not, you'll be phased out. So, the global readiness, I simplify in 2 parts. Your perspective capacity and your application. You may have a full perspective capacity, like 认知 or 格局, but if your application capacity is not there, your business instinct, how much you really process the information, you will come up with the wrong decision. So for those who are doing well in the global standard, okay, their capacity is global relative to the world. Okay? So, in short, many Singaporeans or many businessmen, they think that they are global ready. But you need to ask yourself, is your global readiness at what level? 知道 level, know level, 了解 level, understanding level, realize level, 领悟 level, or 觉悟 level, enlightened level. That makes the difference between a successful businessman and a non-successful businessman, a successful politician and non-successful politician. Another thing very important is about global readiness. In the past, you can build up in this way. But in the new world, okay, you must be AIWT. Not artificial intelligence, but adaptive and innovative with times. At the same time, with a global ready, you are able to see the far. You will predict the future. Let me give one example. I prepared this one for my children. My father-in-law and I, we set up a trust for our children. But we find that wealth is one thing. Much more important is the wisdom. So, we have this for our children, but also apply to Singapore. Singapore right now, we are not the R1, the risk kit, but we are in the process of R2. But the world, the talent in overseas, in other countries, they are moving this way because they are global ready. So in other words, unless the parents understand that, realize that, enlighten that they are not global ready, they are moving this way, but while the world is moving this way, we will be in trouble. That's the reason why I'm 100% firm that we will not have a good SG100 or SG120 unless we thanks the 10 author, read this book and be inspired, not only all of you, but inspire the rest to be global ready, then moving this way, we have hope. So my answer to Singapore SG100 is yes. Why? Because of the author, because of the SMC community. So next, When I say innovative, many parents, they say we have to stay relevant to the world. But relevant to the world is not enough. You must be innovative, meaning that you need to innovate new value. If I say that we are relevant to the world, you are following the tails of others. Okay? And people are moving faster than you. You must innovate values for ASEAN, for Asia, and for the world. Okay? So that you can retain and attract more talent to come to Singapore. I will not go through this one, awareness, because all the majority of parents, they know. But many Singaporeans to know one point. Our Singapore is a rich country, but in many sense, we are a poor country. Because 70% of our GDP depend directly or indirectly on foreign affiliated companies. Okay? 30% are local. And part of it also depend on this foreign affiliated company directly or indirectly. So imagine. The next one, the alarming one. Our local businessmen are not competitive in the world now. In the past years, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, Singaporeans are making money or profitable or doing well in China. Now, many Singaporeans, right, the percentage from 50% will be dropped to less than 10%, if not 3%. A few group of businessmen we calculated based on member, we count that less than 3% are doing well in China. If you don't believe in this, let's look at Singapore Business Federation survey. In 2008, the survey is number one the investment place for Singapore businessmen. But in 2018, it dropped to number 9. Why? 打道回府. Okay, they were not doing well. Because Singapore moving this way, the China, they are moving this way. Okay? So, in other words, our Singapore businessmen no longer, because they are not global ready, no longer competitive, not only in China, but ASEAN and other countries. Okay, so this is one alarming. Second one, multinational company and downsizing or relocating. It's not that Singapore is no good. Because of the strategy in China, in US, in Europe, they are preparing for the future. So even they are making money, they are profitable. Don't forget, I'm one of the SIC board member, and SMC has many of MNC friends. I have the ground information. Okay, they're preparing for the future, that's why they're downsizing. Okay, or relocating. Okay, third, high net worth. 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, Singapore is number 1 in terms of attracting the high net worth. 10 years ago, we were 2 times of Dubai in terms of high net worth. Last year, Dubai is 2 times of Singapore. Guess what? This year, Dubai is 6 times of Singapore. So when I talk to some leader or some parent, they say, we want the high quality. So the global ready question that he should ask is, who were the talents behind Dubai 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and now? The second global ready question he should ask himself is, what can these talents behind Dubai, behind Ireland, behind Indonesia, Vietnam, and even Hong Kong, because many came to Singapore during the COVID, but now many return. At the same time, China attract many of these leaders to Singapore, to Hong Kong. So the global ready question to all the parents should ask, what can this talent propel this country 5 to 10 years from now? So, what should we do next? At the beginning, I said that we need to TOC, treasure, optimize, and capitalize this 1 billion talent. Okay, the product of 1 billion come from every country. Okay? In 2 areas. First, need to instill the sense of positive crisis. Not to panic, but to a positive sense of crisis. Okay? To let Singapore know that we are behind. If we follow the current path, there will be no SG100, SG120. But if we have this positive sense of crisis, we will differ. So, in 2 areas we can do. Like SMC. In the past, we have many so-called mentorship program and so on. So I find that it's not effective. So I gather a group of businessmen, right? We think about how to build this ecosystem. So we came up with this model. Current leader, like all the speaker, all the author. Emerging leader, 35 years old, 30 to 55 years old, and the new generation. So we built a intergeneration retail, build one global integrated talent ecosystem. What we do? We embrace each other, we take care of Singaporeans, at the same time we take care of these foreign talent children. So we embrace each other. Okay, to date, we have 5,000 alumni, half are mentor, speaker, and half of you. They come from 35 countries. So that our youth know how to understand the global readiness, not when they reach 18 years old, go to overseas for internship and so on, when they were 2 years old. Because the parents are global ready. So they nurture them when they were young. Okay, and one more point, SMC is nothing. It's only 1%. We need 99 more. Our here is to inspire other Singapore Chamber of Commerce organizations to understand the importance of global readiness. Next, more important, no money, no talk. Agree? All right? So, we should build another ecosystem called Global Integrated Investment Ecosystem. We have a good system right now by the government. 13U, 13O, even the 5 billion so-called simulation. They are good, but not effective enough. Why? Just like SGX. For many years, we are far behind Hong Kong. People say, oh, maybe 10 times, 20 times. My friend, it's more than that. This year, Hong Kong able to raise close to 15 billion. SGS only able to raise less than 10 million. They are not few times more than us. They are many, many times more than us. Okay? However, if you do it right, Hong Kong is nothing compared to Singapore. You may be surprised why I say that. Hong Kong only have China behind their back. Singapore has the whole world. Just that we did not know how to use it properly. 7,000 MNC is here. Hong Kong don't have it. The number of high net worth, number of fund, number of family office is only 500 billion. But number of fund and number of high net worth businessmen, they can help our startup, including our GLC, SME, and Unicorn, including Temasek and GIC. We work together, build this global integrated ecosystem, help each other. So, the government or the parents can work together to come out a new initiative. I call it 18ME. Forget about 13U, 13O. Unlucky number. 18ME, market expansion. 實發，一定發，發啊. So that is the right way to do it. How? You build this ecosystem, you embrace also the 7,000 MNC. Because even though you're MNC, you do not know every part of the world. So they work together to help each other to build this, but no free lunch. Give them tax incentive, whether you're MNC or local, the new high net worth and so on. Also family office. You must understand what is family office. These people come from Hong Kong, Taiso-san from Japan, US, India, South Asia, and so on. They're not just a family office. You ask them to contribute certain money to Singapore office, to invest in Singapore office, higher field. It's not effective. Their resources overseas. Okay? So give them the incentive beside the tax and nothing. It's no point to force them to stay in Singapore. Their resources overseas, maybe stay here for 2 months is enough. Okay? But they must have a KPI or a startup or unicorn to expand overseas. Just like how SMC do it. We make sure when they provide internship, the CEO need to hand carry them for a week. Okay? The same thing for this investment. Trust that, of course, the citizenship need tight control, need to screen them. But when you screen, don't over-screen like what you do recently for the MES. Because of 3 billion of scam, right, you apply such a tight policy, you affect the whole industry. Okay? So, to be global ready, for parents, we have a very good government. So, if you complain too much, if you're not global ready, government only have a small bandwidth to make decisions. So, if you're global ready, at the same time, the young policymaker also global ready. We will have a very big bandwidth, okay, to make decisions for Singapore. Got it? And if it's so narrow, the decision that we make normally is wrong. Just like past policy. That's why we cannot outgun Hong Kong. If both parents, the citizen, and the policymaker, educator are global ready, we have a big bandwidth. So we can make the best, not 100% decision. There's no 100% decision in the world. We are able to make the best net value decision. Okay, so that Singapore will propel. Very simple. 得人才者，得市场. You capture the talent, you capture the market. Singapore can capture the market. That's why I'm very confident that we will have a good SG100 and even SG200. Okay. Let me give one example. What is global readiness? As I said, the speaker come from 10 of them, the author, 8 different countries. Likewise, we select 7 reviewers, come from 6 different countries. I just quote you one of them. Alibaba, former founding CTO, also founder of Fenghe. He said something quite interesting. Educated, born in Africa by Chinese parents, but educated in US, they become the Global 500 C-suite or owner. That also applies to Indonesian, Indian, and Vietnamese, and so on. Okay? A global readiness person will able to 英雄是英雄, a hero know a hero. Understand what does he mean. This will help you to understand. Year 2000, China is only the number 1 trade partner of 8 countries. Now, in year 2000, 128. Today we check 138. So, the global ready question for you is not just to curious, but able to your perspective capacity, able to understand why. Because to be the number 1 trade partner of Africa country, you must have a people, not only government G to G, but the people penetrating into the country, get to know the market, right? So we can build the trading. Same thing applies to Cambodia. 20 years ago, when I was there, only 5,000 Singaporean and 5,000 Chinese. Today, still remain 5,000 Singaporean, 500,000 Chinese. Yes, there are some black hat Chinese in Cambodia. A majority are good cat. Apply to every country. Just like in Singapore, there are 28 Chinese Chamber of Commerce or alumni in Singapore. They know Singapore market. They know ASEAN better than us. So, how does it apply to the future? The top curve is also applied to India. They are moving this way. They have the whole supply chain. That's why Tyson give out EV. Because the Chinese control the mining, R&D, all the way to the supply chain. Okay, I'm a parent. I'm concerned about the future. So I hope this message, this book can inspire 1% of you. This will be the future in 5 to 10 years from now. Okay? So, for Singaporean, you have to be global ready and you have to be AIWT, adaptive and innovative time. Innovate value for yourself, for your company. Thank you.
This is history in the making. The first ever SMU SMC Leadership Symposium launches on 7 October 2025. A milestone moment where visionaries, leaders, and change makers from all across the globe gather in the heart of Singapore to celebrate leadership, to champion education, to build a future of cross-cultural collaboration. From Switzerland to Sweden, from the US to China, from Japan to ASEAN, over 30 ambassadors and key representatives stand together under one roof. Hundreds of education and student leaders, hundreds of FMC speakers, mentors and youths, hundreds of MNC and business leaders, civil servant leaders and startup founders, all united by a single mission, to nurture global-ready change makers for a world that needs bold new leadership. And today, we launch something truly special. Becoming Global Ready, an ebook written by 10 international voices, shaped by 8 different cultures. A gift of wisdom, freely shared with students across schools, universities, and communities worldwide, because knowledge should have no borders. This symposium is not just an event. It is a celebration, a tribute to Singapore's 60 years of nation building, and to 25 years of SMU shaping business leaders of tomorrow. It is about honoring the past and daring to build the future. Here, education meets action. Here, ideas cross borders. Here, we believe that leadership is not just about titles, but about the courage to think beyond boundaries and the heart to create impact across cultures. To every mentor, student, and leader gathered here, this is your stage, your opportunity, your moment to step forward and shape the future, to become the global-ready change makers our world is waiting for. The first SMU SMC Leadership Symposium, the launch of Becoming Global Ready. One vision, one community, one future, led by you.